Hello, Martin here. Uh, there was an example similar to this that a customer had put up that was showing where it had difficulties with chamfer on a mesh like this. Text is notoriously pretty hard to do chamfers on. These surfaces are these huge, large, concave surfaces that just give chamfer a really hard time, which is pretty well known. Which is why we had the bevel controls uh, inside of the text object anyway. But there have been some updates previously in several of the updates, and also these updates were fixing or enhancing the algorithms that we use for the chamfer. So let's give it a shot. So there's a chamfer. Of course, it's blowing out. The reason it's blowing out of the top is because it's just going too far. It's pushing along the normal. But if you keep it below that amount, it's holding together pretty well. And this is the uniform um, mitering. If we switch it to something like the radial mitering, see it brings it down a little bit more so we can actually increase the amount more until you get to something like, now we're crossing existing segments. So you have to kind of be careful of that. But as long as you stay within that, it should hold together pretty well. Of course, you could go back to Text Plus, and you could add an edit poly and remove some of these segments if you wanted, or you could just go to the interpolation, set this to, I don't know, say 3, and then chamfer again, and then you can push it a little bit further, and it holds together pretty well. Now you still get these triangulations, um, which is just the way that the triangulation is working on the surface internally. So what we can do is we can add an inset, bring that down a little bit. So either do something like a face inset, or we could do what we're calling a flow loop. So we crank up the segments a little bit more, and so now that should be pretty clean. All right, thanks a lot.